Hey guys, welcome to my channel, or welcome back. My name is Laura, for those of you that do not know, and today's video is going to be a super fun one because we are going to be talking about brothers' best friend romance books. And now this is a trope that I've gotten so many requests to do a recommendations video for, and I've been compiling my favorite brothers best friend books for this video for a long time now, so I'm super excited to share with you guys the recommendations. But before we get into the recommendations, I do want to say a quick thank you to today's sponsor, which is Ana Luisa Jewelry. For those of you that may not know, I'm actually an ambassador for Ana Luisa. I've been working with them for over the past year, doing sponsorships for their wonderful jewelry, and I just really believe in this brand, and I love every single item I've ever received from them, and I know you guys will love their items as well, so that's why I truly am happy to be an ambassador for them. I'm very picky with my sponsors, but this is a company that I really do love, and today I'm wearing a bunch of pieces from them. You can see I'm wearing this really cute and dainty butterfly necklace. I have these red and pearl earrings that are super fun, different, and these other little pieces that are on my cartilage are all from Ana Luisa. I personally really love mixing and matching the earrings because I have so many different holes on my ears that I can kind of design my own look and put together different pieces that don't originally go together and just kind of design my ear in that way. But Ana Luisa is a really sustainable, really affordable, quality jewelry brand. The jewelry that I've received has been exceptional quality, guys. It does not tarnish, it does not get old, it does not leave your ring finger and your ears green, nothing like that, your neck. Literally, it's top tier quality, and these pieces are starting at $39, so you can get a really affordable piece that is going to last you a super long time. I also love the fact that this is a carbon neutral brand and that they offset all of the carbon emissions used to make their jewelry, so they're super sustainable, and even the packaging that you get, it's super simple, it's trying not to be wasteful, and I just really appreciate that a brand truly cares about the environment and cares about carbon emissions and being carbon neutral, so I think that's a really cool thing. I feel really good about wearing this jewelry, about telling you guys to check it out, and they're also doing a Valentine's Day sale starting right now. It's going till Valentine's Day. It's 15% off the whole website, so now is the perfect time to grab something for yourself, grab something for somebody else, a significant other, a friend. Either way, definitely go check out their website. I feel like they truly have something for everybody. I obviously chose like these earrings that are super fun and flashy, but they have a lot more simple items. They have gold, silver, literally anything you could want. So go check it out. I'll have a link down below that you can click to go to their website. And yeah, I can't even talk about the brand enough. I truly love it. It's jewelry that I constantly wear. You guys can probably go back in my videos. I'm constantly wearing these pieces, and I just really love them. So thank you again to Ana Luisa for sponsoring, and let's get started with the book recommendations. The first book I'm sharing with you guys is actually one of my most recent reads, so I'm super hyped to share it with you. It's called Power Plays and Straight A's by Eden Finley and Saxon James. This is their first book in the CU Hockey series. Now, there's two books out. I read them both. I know that there's a third coming very soon, which I'm so excited about because I'm literally obsessed with the series. The first two books I immediately fell in love with. This first book follows a guy who is a hockey player at this college. He's expected to go into the NHL. He's super talented. So this hockey player has a twin brother, and the twin brother's best friend is going to be going to CU with this guy who's the hockey player. And so his brother asks him if he could keep an eye out on his friend because his friend is kind of shy and just reserved, really studious. He just doesn't have a lot of friends, and so his one friend does want his brother to watch out for him, and so what starts off as just like keeping an eye on his brother's friend turns into a full-fledged infatuation with him. The hockey player is bisexual, and he's very open about it, but I don't think the friend of his brother knows that, and so the story kind of progresses from there. I really loved this one. First of all, I just love anything with hockey in it. I feel like any romance that has hockey as a central plot is just always super fun, so that was no difference for this book. I truly loved it, and the romance was just super adorable the way that it unfolds. I don't know what it is about the brothers best friend trope, but I just kind of love the idea that there's this conflict of interest, and it's like, oh, we shouldn't be together, like so-and-so will be mad or so-and-so doesn't want it, so it's just a little little fun, adds a little something to the book, and this book was no exception. I truly loved it. I even loved the second one, which is a different couple, but I recommend both of them. But this first book is a phenomenal brother's best friend book. Next up is a book that I talked about in my 2020 wrap-up video because I fell in love with it. It was one of the last books that I read last year, and it's one of my favorites. It's called Little Lies by H. Hunting, aka Helena Hunting. It's a spin-off from her Pucked series, and it's about the characters in that book's kids, I guess, but I haven't read the other books, but I want to now. This book follows a girl who, when she was young, had a lot of traumatic things happen to her, and the one boy who was always there for her and could always comfort her is her brother's best friend, but he moves away when they're in like middle school or high school, around that age, and she kind of loses contact with him. Meanwhile, a few years later, they end up at the same university, and he is still friends with her brother, who's also at the university, so she can't really avoid him. They have this weird kind of enemies to lovers thing, even though they were friends back in the day, or friendly, and they had this kind of bond over their childhoods, but he ends up having this really like brooding, harsh way of talking to her, and the relationship kind of forms from there and from them being in college together. I really love this book. I can't even explain why or really articulate the plot in a feasible way that makes it sound that good either way. But like, I'm telling you, if you love like angsty, enemies to lovers, brother's best friend, a lot of good, juicy backstory and crazy stuff, this is an amazing book. I really loved it. I definitely want to go and read all of Helena Hunting's other books now, but this one was just so great and I highly recommend it. The next book on my list is called Little Hoodlum by Kay Webster. This is actually the second book in the Hood River Hoodlums series. I know so many words that sound the same. So it's the second book in a series, so I don't really want to give you like a full-on synopsis because it does spoil a little bit. You definitely don't have to read the books in order, but I don't want to spoil for those of you that want to read the first book. However, this second book is about a girl, and the girl's brother is the first book. So this is her book, and it is a brother's best friend book, and it kind of follows her and her journey with this guy who has always kind of been her protector, her brother's best friend. Even for her and her brother, he's always kind of been there to protect them from their tragic family life, and he ends up getting involved with something, and he doesn't see her for a long time, and he's finally back, and things go from there. Again, I really don't want to spoil too much, but I really love this book. I feel like Kay Webster writes really good, immersive romances that are super quick and to the point, but just have that like little bit of angst and entertainment that make them all worthwhile. So they're definitely quick reads. This whole series is a really quick read, but I still really loved it. I loved the relationship. I loved how they had a backstory. Sometimes there's like a best friend's brother where it's like they meet and there's like immediately a relationship, but this it's like she's known him her whole life and they kind of eventually get to this place where they find each other in that way. So really love this book. I recommend the first book too, but this one is just a really good brother's best friend book. This next book is similar to the last one in the regard that it is the second book in a companion novel series. It is called Be With Me by J. Lynn, aka Jennifer L. Armentrout, and it follows up from Wait For You. Wait For You has this girl's brother in it, so if you've read that one, then you know the girl's brother. This book follows a girl named Tessa, I believe, and Tessa ends up kissing her brother's best friend, and it's like this electric kiss, like they both know it. It was something so amazing. Her brother's best friend, however, has a lot of baggage and he's holding a lot of secrets that he's just not ready to tell anybody about, so he doesn't want to get involved with anyone. So as much as he enjoyed the kiss and really wants to know Tessa on a deeper level, he's scared to let her in, and this book kind of explores their relationship. So really, really good. I highly enjoyed this one. I loved all of the twists and turns throughout the story, and you definitely don't have to read the first book. You can definitely just read this one. However, the first is like one of my all-time favorite romances, so again, I highly recommend it, but this is really great as a standalone, and I think you guys will enjoy it. The next book on my list is called Virtually Screwed by Isla Olson. This is the second book in her Love and Luck series, which is kind of like a companion novel series of novellas, so they're super short stories. I read like 3 of them in one day, so they're really fast-paced, but they're all following different gay relationships. So this one is about 2 guys who meet online. They talk in like a gaming chat, I guess it's kind of like Discord, and they kind of exchange words in there. They realize that they don't really have a lot in common. There's a pretty big age gap between them, but they kind of find solace in talking to each other after their long days, and it turns out that for this one guy, it's his brother's best friend who he's been talking to, and they didn't know, and they find out, and the story kind of progresses from there. You guys know how I feel about a good, they know each other online and they know each other in real life and they don't know until they know, and then it's like chaos. Just one of my favorite tropes. So roped in with their brother's best friend made this even better. I really loved it. This whole series is just super fun, fast-paced, really easy reads. I was reading them at the end of last year just to kind of like brush up on my Goodreads goal that I still didn't hit, but it was really fun, and I think you guys will enjoy this as well. So definitely check out this book or the whole series. I think it's really great. The next book on my list is one of my all-time favorite Brothers Best Friend books, which for that reason you've probably heard me talk about it before because I know I've recommended it countless times. It is called Burnout by Coralie June. This book follows a girl who, upon losing her mother, ends up reaching out to a brother that she's never known to ask if she can stay with him for her senior year of high school. Even though he doesn't know who she is, he does say yes, and upon moving in she realizes he has a roommate, which is his best friend, and he also ends up being her teacher. So this girl's a senior in high school, she's 18 years old, and she has this really big infatuation with her brother's friend who lives with them, and they kind of grow this friendship that later turns into a relationship, a romantic relationship, and I really love this one. This girl has a really tragic backstory, had a really tough upbringing with her mother, and so I really love that. I love like a rugged, kind of rough around the edges main protagonist girl, especially because sometimes you just don't want to read from like the good girl, like goody two-shoes perspective, even though that's very popular in romance books. So I just really love this character. I love the relationship that they form, and it's definitely a juicy plot, so I highly recommend this book. It's one of my favorites. Next book on my list is called Good Boy by Serena Bowen and Elle Kennedy. This is the first book in the WAG series, which is also a spin-off from their book Him. So if that means nothing to you, you can just read this book on its own, but if you want to read Him, read that and then come to this book. The girl in this series is related to one of the guys from Him. It's her brother, obviously, and I don't want to spoil if you haven't read Him, but for some reason she ends up being in close proximities with one of the boys from that book's best friend, and they end up hooking up, and they're like, we can never do that again, that was bad, but then they can't really stop, and they end up getting this kind of relationship happening, but neither of them is really wanting a relationship, but they're kind of falling for each other, and so on and so on. So this is a really fun one. I really love the idea of the fact both of them kind of want each other, but at the same time they don't, and it's just one of those books that I think has a really fun interaction between characters. Both of the characters in this book are super funny, and for that reason you end up with some really chaotic and just fun scenes. So I highly recommend. I love all of Serena and Elle's books that they do together. They're always masterpieces, so I think you guys will love this one. The last book on my list today is called Just for Now by Abby Glines, and this is the fourth book in the Seabreeze series. Again, you can read it as a standalone. You don't have to read the whole series. This book follows a girl who, growing up, she always had this crush on one of her brother's best friends. They were older than her, so he really never paid attention to her, but she's always paid attention to him. So upon growing up a little bit, she ends up making a move on him, and he doesn't remember because it was like him being drunk and like hooking up with her without even realizing. So that happens, and she kind of has to live with the fact that she hooked up with this guy who she kind of has built up in her head to be this god, and he doesn't even remember her after the fact. But he has a lot of stuff going on with his life that gets revealed throughout the story that really makes you gain sympathy for him, and they eventually kind of find their way to each other. If you guys have seen me talk about this series before, you know that I really enjoy it. It's super light, super fast-paced, but there's something about it. I just love the way that Abby Glines paints her characters and has dialogue, and I don't know, I'm just obsessed with this series, so I really recommend it. It was never really one of my favorites in the whole series. There's 9 books. I never really loved it, and then I reread it recently, like in the past year, and it actually ended up kind of rising in my list, so highly recommend it for that reason. I think that you guys will really like it. So guys, those are all of my brother's best friend romance recs. I hope that you guys found a new book to add to your TBR today, and definitely if I did not mention your favorite brother's best friend book, please tell me in a comment down below, because this is a trope that I really love and I'm constantly looking for new recommendations for, so let me know. But other than that, make sure you guys subscribe to my channel if you enjoy my recommendations, and leave a comment down below, leave a thumbs up, anything to show your appreciation. I would truly appreciate back. So thank you. Also, you can check out my social media down below, my ASMR channel, my Wattpad story, anything like that. all in the description box down below. Other than that, I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Again, remember to check out Ana Luisa Designs down below. Their Valentine's Day sale is happening currently and you don't want to miss it. I know that there's going to be something you love on the website, so please go check it out. Let me know if you buy anything. But yes, thank you to Ana Luisa for sponsoring. Other than that, I love you all so very much and I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye!